All hourly workers in the US, unless exempt, receive time and a half pay, which is equal to 1.5 times their regular hourly compensation. While being very easy to calculate for hourly workers, salaried workers may find time and a half somewhat difficult to calculate. Let us simplify it for you. If you have worked overtime for a certain number of hours or worked more than 40 hours in a week, you will be paid 1.5 times your normal hourly rate for the extra hours you worked. Let's say you work with a standard rate of $20 per hour. You will receive $30 per hour for each hour that exceeds your usual hours. Companies usually do this method to get employees to work on holidays, weekends, or other times when they might not want to. Depending on the company's overtime policy, some days, like religious holidays, may be eligible for double time instead of time and a half. Now let's dive a little bit deeper. In exempt employees' cases, overtime pay depends on their state's additional labor standards, legislation, and the company's overtime payment policy, as the FLSA does not require it. This means they can still get it plus more depending on where they work and how their company handles overtime pay. For salaried workers, overtime pay may be included in the monthly salary. If the employee is routinely asked to work overtime, they can negotiate a raise. Time and a half pay is also a wonderful employee motivator. Many companies support overtime compensation even if their state doesn't. As a rule, employees are excused from overtime compensation if their position is one of the followings. They get a monthly wage, not hourly pay. Their position entails high-level responsibilities which can directly affect the company's overall operations, like executive, administrative, or computer-based duties. They make at least $35.568 a year or $684 a week. Here's the real deal. How to calculate time and a half. Let us guide you through the steps. 1. Multiply the hourly worker's extra hours by 1.5 times the usual rate. 2. Separate double time hours and multiply by twice the usual rate. 3. Multiply the total hours the hourly worker has worked by the standard rate. 4. Finally, add together the standard and overtime pay. However, for non-exempt salaried workers, this process is a bit trickier. For payroll calculations, this process, especially for salaried workers, may be better calculated with an employee overtime calculator, such as Omni Calculator and Quick HR Overtime Pay Calculator. So let's wrap it up. Working longer hours can positively affect your overall output, but did you know that it may also be very detrimental to your social life, productivity, and physical and mental health? In the modern workplace, more and more companies are trying to get their workers to use methods that make them more productive instead of putting in even more hours. If you're constantly finding yourself staying at work for longer hours to finish your tasks, time management may be a tool worth considering. Believe me, it will transform your life.